Good morning and welcome to June's Yoga. Today we're going to do something in isolation, something reflective, but something very calming. And I'd like to invite you to join me on a journey working with Mandala. Now Mandala originally comes from the East, and it would have been done where people were able to draw in the sand or the dirt. And it was a kind of doodling, but it was done in isolation. You just had maybe a stick, maybe your finger in the sand or the dirt, but it always took the form of a very large circle, and it was always a way of just filling in and letting the mind wander while the finger or the stick just travelled to create a design. Now, many of these designs were intricate, very complex, and actually when the wind and the rain came, it just blew it all away. So there was nothing permanent about a mandala, and the lesson there was that it was very much about the journey whilst you were doing it, and not the end product, not the end piece of artwork. So the tradition has continued, and actually there are many Tibetan monks and Buddhist monks who will still do this practice with a very fine, long metal straw type thing, and they just tap a very bright coloured sand or powder down the tube into the intricate area that they want to create. And then when the whole thing is done, it actually just gets folded up, and it usually gets taken out into the wind or the rain or the river and let go. Again, nothing left to show that it was there. So translating that into our current situation or the need for some privacy or some quiet time in your life, then mandala can be used with paper and pencil. Now you can choose to have your piece of paper in front of you. I'm just going to show here. So it's a circle, and I've made a smaller circle right in the center, and that's what I'm going to focus on. I've chosen today to just work with one dark felt pen because it's easier to see what I'm doing, but you might set aside 2 or 3 colours of your choice. You may even do the rainbow spectrum, you might have 7. I've chosen to light a candle, and I have got my Tibetan bells here, Chingsha bells, because I'm going to mark a period of time that I'm going to do it for, and I'm going to invite you to do the same. The big difference in this colouring or doodling activity is that it's not social. So I'm not inviting you to sit round the kitchen table with the family and friends and discuss things and share ideas. That's a different kind of activity, and I wish you well in that. But this is really about self-reflection. It's about just going a little bit deeper and giving yourself 4 or 5 minutes of time to just explore where that takes you. So I'm just going to ring the bells, which marks the start. And then I'm just going to work with my pen and see where it takes me. For me, and the purpose of this video today, I've marked that as about 2.5 to 3 minutes of perfect silence and time to quieten down. And it may be, excuse me, that you're able to look at the very central point, using that as your drishti or your focal point for the rest of the time that you've got. You may use the candle as your flickering flame, and you may just want to close your eyes and just see what your breath is doing now. If your heart rate has slowed down, maybe your pulse is a little bit slower, and maybe you find just a couple of moments of peacefulness. Namaste.